If you're like me and you're addicted to reading manhwa, you know how it feels when you run out of chapters to read. As an avid Lookism enjoyer, the pain comes back every week when I see that damn scroll bar get closer to the bottom of the screen. But worry not. In today's video, I help you cope by showing you the top 5 manhwas that feed your sick Lookism addiction. With the last manhwa being so good, you wish you read it earlier. Weak Hero presents a gripping narrative set within the corridors of a high school where power dynamics dominate every interaction. At its core, Gre-yeon, a determined protagonist who refuses to succumb to the oppression perpetuated by the school's tyrannical bullies, fueled by a desire for justice and a steadfast commitment to protecting the weak. Gre embarks on a mission to dismantle the established hierarchy and challenges the status quo. Imagine diving into a chaotic world of high school where strength is the ultimate currency and bullies reign supreme. And that's the backdrop for Weak Hero, where our main protagonist, Gre-yeon, isn't about to let the school's tyrants have their way. He's on a mission to flip the script and take down those bullies for good. And let me tell you, the action is off the charts. We're talking intense fight scenes that'll have you on the edge of your seat. But it's not all about throwing punches. Friendship and loyalty are the major themes here, and Gre's got a crew that's got his back no matter what. But beyond the punches and power plays, Weak Hero dives into some real deep stuff, and it's all about standing up against injustice and finding strength in solidarity. So if you're into thrilling battles, epic friendships, and a healthy dose of the underdog rebellion, Weak Hero is definitely your jam. It's like Lookism with a bit more muscle and a whole lot of heart. And this manhwa is finished, so you can binge it to your heart's content. As for the next manhwa, God of High School is like if you mix martial arts with a touch of the supernatural and toss it all into a high school setting, and bam! You've got Shin Mori, just your average high schooler, except he's got some serious skills in the fighting department. So get this, there's a massive martial arts tournament where all the heavy hitters gather, and the winner gets their deepest desires granted. Talk about high stakes, right? But it's not just about throwing punches and kicks, although there is plenty of that. It's also about friendship and finding yourself, and the thrill of competition. And I'll have you know, the battles are nothing to miss. We're talking about jaw-dropping fights that'll leave you cheering for more. But beyond the adrenaline rush, God of High School digs into some real actual life skills, like figuring out who you are in the midst of all the chaos. And if it seems familiar, well, it did have an anime on Crunchyroll, but I suggest you do read the manhwa first though. So if you're into action-packed showdowns, a sprinkle of magic, God of High School is the best manhwa for you. It's like the ultimate blend of martial arts and mayhem, as well as the coming-of-age adventure, all wrapped up into one neat package. Also, you may Elicid is like the perfect mashup of comedy and action, as well as a sprinkle of supernatural spice. You've got Jiwoo, your typical guy with a not-so-typical power, who ends up crossing paths with a stray cat named Kaden. But get this, Kaden's not your average feline. He's got some serious secrets up his furry sleeve. So pick a dynamic duo navigating through all sorts of crazy situations involving creatures straight out of your wildest nightmares. We're talking about dangerous showdowns with stuff that'll make your hair stand on end. But do not worry, Jiwoo and Kaden aren't backing down anytime soon. Here's the kicker. As they face these otherworldly threats, they're also forming this seriously cool bond, and it's like the ultimate buddy cop duo, except one of them happens to be a real cat with some serious powers. So if you're into all laugh out loud moments, heart-pounding actions, and with a touch of supernatural, Elicid is this manhwa for you. It's like a wild roller coaster through a world where anything can happen, and trust me, you do not want to miss a single moment of it. Up next on the list might be something you didn't expect, solo leveling. While solo leveling might not seem immediately similar to Lookism, in terms of premise or setting, there are still some thematic elements and storytelling aspects that fans of Lookism are sure to appreciate. In solo leveling, you've got this world where gates and dungeons pop up out of nowhere, unleashing all sorts of mayhems into the mix. But here's where it gets interesting. People start gaining powers from these dungeons, turning them into hunters who take down these monsters for a living. Enter our main man, Sung Jin-woo, who starts off as the weakest of the bunch, known as the weakest hunter in the world. But like a good seinen manhwa, Sung Jin-woo isn't about to let being at the bottom hold him back. Nuh-uh, he's got a determination for days, and with his unique abilities, he quickly starts climbing the ranks. being so strong, leaving his former self in the dust. Now where it ties back to Lookism is the whole underdog story aspect. Just like in Lookism, where our protagonist faces challenges and grows stronger through them, Sung Jin-woo undergoes a similar journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Plus there's an element of leveling up, both physically and metaphorically, which adds a layer of excitement and progression to the story. So if you're into epic tales of personal growth, jaw-dropping battles, and a protagonist who defies the odds, Solo Leveling has got you covered. It's like the ultimate power fantasy with a side of adrenaline-pumping action, and trust me, you will not want to miss out on Sung Jin-woo's journey from zero to hero. As for the last manhwa on this list, this manhwa perfectly encapsulates the amazing fight scenes of Lookism as well as the stunning visuals and an even better story. This is the story of Mercenary Enrollment. Mercenary Enrollment follows the story of Yoo E-jin, a seemingly normal high schooler that attends the same school as his sister. But something is off about him. The way he carries himself, the way he acts, it's his maturity. This does not match the vibe of a normal high school student, and that's because he isn't. As a young kid, while on a trip with his parents, his plane crashed, killing both of them, and being the sole survivor of the plane crash, he was raised into being a mercenary in a foreign country. After reuniting with his lost family, he figures out how to move on from his past life and live a normal, peaceful one. You'll love his journey of self-discovery, finding out what it means to fight for something more than money or his own keep. Being surrounded by the people who love him, Yoo E-jin learns how to fight for his family. With amazingly choreographed battles and an eye-catching art, if you caught up to Lookism, Mercenary Enrollment is a must-read. And if any manhwas in this list intrigued you, then subscribe down below for more lists. And of course, enjoy hundreds of amazing manhwas that suit any of your tastes, only on Webtoon.